Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today, in 3 days. Right now, from this very moment, in 3 days, starting now, the game has unlocked. At least in New Zealand, soon to be in Japan, and then everywhere across the world. The launch event in the Nintendo Treehouse is gonna start, which I will not watch, as I'm personally still completely avoiding anything until I go live with the game. But I'm sure some of you will do that, so that's really exciting. And I wanted to kind of take the time today to recap a little bit. You've probably already seen the thumbnail and the title of this video, which is my favorite memories with Breath of the Wild, but I'm talking about with the game, not in the game. I'm not gonna be ranking what memories I think are the best, the most emotional, even though if you want to hear that, my favorite one is the one at Kara Bazaar, where Link saves Zelda from a Yiga attack. Anyway, I have done a video like this before, where I kind of gave a little bit of my history and how I got into the game, but since there's so many new people here today, and since we are ending this series here soon, we are nearing completion, essentially, I thought it would be a good time to maybe get into it again, as this is also kind of like my favorite memory in the first place, because this is obviously how I got into the game. So, I was always a Mario Odyssey speedrunner, which some of you probably know that game. It's a classic. Oh, that was a great BTB. I wanted to talk about BTBs. Maybe I can get the second one with the silver Lizalfos. Mario Odyssey was my first... Well, let's start at the beginning. I, growing up, really liked video games, but my parents were pretty strict about them. I was not allowed to play as many video games as I wanted, because they thought they're not good for you. I'm sure some of you have a similar experience maybe with your parents, and that's how that basically was for me. So I really liked playing them, but eventually I got kind of bored of them because of how restricted I was. My parents would be like, yeah, you can play 30 minutes, then you have to stop. You should go outside. And eventually I was like, yeah, you know what, 30 minutes is not even worth it to boot up my game. Guess I'm going outside. Kind of became a normie for a while, went into clubs and bars, and then I realized, wait, I actually don't like this. I still like playing video games. But thankfully at that point I was old enough to decide how much I wanted to play myself. And that's what I did. When I was 17, I somehow really got into Minecraft. I was kind of like popping off at the time. I was like 16, 17. And I actually made a super old Minecraft Let's Play channel, which I will not tell you the name of that channel. It's a German channel. It's still out there, but I'm keeping that. I'm taking that to the grave. But anyway, growing up, starting to work, eventually I had less time for video games again. And then I met some friends who at one evening who liked video games as well, not like obsessed with them like I am now, but they liked them, and they basically told me about Mario Odyssey coming up. Okay, that's a first. Okay, wow. Great, 4 topaz from 1 ore. They told me about Mario Odyssey coming out soon, which I had seen on E3, because even though I didn't play as many video games, I absolutely loved watching E3 and getting excited for new video game releases. At the time, I had played games like Skyrim and GTA and like the classics. And then I was like, yeah, I saw that, and I grew up with Mario, especially Super Mario World on the SNES. And I liked 64. I played that mostly on the DS though, growing up. And I was like, yeah, I actually, you know what? I'm gonna check out the good old Twitch website and watch. Because at the time, the only game I was really playing was League of Legends. Let's not mention it. And so I was aware of like Twitch and like gaming content in general. So I checked out Twitch and I found an Odyssey speedrunner. And I had watched Games Done Quick in the past, which is a big speedrunning event. So I knew that speedrunners are usually pretty good at games, so I checked out the Odyssey speedrun, which is probably a bad idea. If you want to play a game yourself, watching a speedrun right away is not really smart, because you will literally see the ending of the game and everything, but I, at the time, didn't care. I thought the speedrun was so cool that I wanted to buy a Switch and try it out myself. Essentially, at that time, I slowly got into streaming. It was something that I enjoyed doing after I was done with my job. and I streamed some League of Legends to like 3 viewers or something, and then I was like, okay, you know what, no, I'm going to stream speedrunning. I stream Odyssey. I quickly became part of the community. I did some work in terms of timing and routing. That's something that like immediately resonated with me, so people kind of started knowing me, and I gained more viewers. I probably had like 20-30 viewers that enjoyed my Odyssey theory crafting and speedrunning stuff. At the time I was like in the top 20 or top 30 or something, not like a top runner, but I was alright. And one day I decided in January to do a 24-hour stream, something that I do not recommend at all. Every time I see people do 24-hour streams, it's literally the worst idea you can do. Just do like 2 12-hour streams and actually have energy. Like, it's fine, you can do 24-hour streams, but they just suck compared to 2 12-hour streams. Just do that instead. But during that 24-hour stream, I like late at night, like 10, 12, 13 hours in, I kind of ran out of content. I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of done with Odyssey right now. I want to play something else. And one viewer of my chats, of my stream, who was in my chat, and still is sometimes to this day, told me, you know what, Lim, you should play Breath of the Wild. And I realized, actually, yeah, I really liked Twilight Princess growing up, and I played some of the DS Zeldas, and also I had actually seen some Breath of the Wild playthrough stuff before, and it looked pretty cool. The reason I didn't buy it for my Switch was mainly because I was busy speedrunning Odyssey, and because I thought, you know what, I kind of have seen stuff from the game already, not sure if I would like it. But Minyash assured me, and I'm very glad he did, that I would still enjoy it. So I bought the game, immediately got addicted to it, basically beat it in like a month or something, mostly off stream at the time, because I just enjoyed playing the game. But towards the end of it, I kind of started looking up some stuff on YouTube about the game. Like, I think for like finding the last shrines, good spots to like farm arrows. So I guess the YouTube algorithm figured out that I liked the game. And one day, kind of combined everything that I had enjoyed until this point, which was speedrunning and Breath of the Wild, and recommended me Razen Run's speedrun of this game in 29 minutes and 59 seconds, so just under 30 minutes. And I had to watch it, I saw it, and I immediately got obsessed with it. The movement in it, wind bombs back then were not a thing. We were mostly just using BTBs, which I did earlier in the video. Maybe I can do another one here for a showcase. And seeing them, especially the ones on the Great Plateau, I thought was so incredibly cool. Wait, I just got a flashback. I remember we used to try and BTB off this guy in a speedrun, but he doesn't get frozen if he's too deep in the water, and that's exactly what just happened. Sawing these BTBs, especially the ones in the Great Plateau, made me realize, and especially, not even the ones in the Great Plateau, but especially the one that sends you all the way to Hyrule Castle. We don't even do that anymore in any percent. Made me realize I wanted to learn the run. And when I did, I realized the resources aren't that great. There's not that many tutorials. I actually ended up mostly annoying other top runners and asking them questions in terms of how to like go fast in the game. And eventually decided to make my own tutorial series, which kind of like made me become a part of the community. To the extent that in 2019, in the summer, WAHGO, a top runner at the time and world record holder, asked me if I wanted to join him on his GDQ run of Breath of the Wild any percent as a commentator. And I mean, this has to be maybe my favorite memory with the game, mainly because that's how everything started. That was the first time I ever got in contact with speedrunning, watching these games done quick events, and being asked to be on there, like being on those couches of the people that I would listen to when I first got in contact with speedrunning. It was incredible to me. I didn't even think that was something I would ever do, but I think we did a great job with the commentary. Song did an incredible job with the gameplay in that run. And ever since, I've kind of become more part of that entire community, meeting a bunch of other speedrunners, like being considered by the people that work at those GDQs events to be on their shows and be there as a runner. Later on in 2020, during the online event, I did a run of this game for all dog treasures. And I became from somebody who always thought this was so cool and an observer to be a part of it. And if I wanted to encapsulate it, this is probably my favorite memory of the game, because it really showed me that, and I keep preaching this to everyone, I think there's a lot of people online that kind of talk well, speedrunning has definitely grown, but there's still this message sometimes that if you want to speedrun, you need to be this gifted god gamer with incredible reaction times. If you're really passionate about a game and you're willing to pour some time into it, you can be part of that amazing community too, in my opinion. Of course, this at the same time as the community has grown, I feel like negativity has grown as well, with people being like, oh yeah, speedrunners don't even like the game. Essentially what they're doing is just like breaking it, disrespecting the developers, when in reality, and I can confidently say this, and I think some of you might agree, knowing how much I love this game and how much I play it, that speedrunners in fact can actually be some of the most passionate players when it comes to these games. I'm not saying all of them are. There's like people that are even more passionate than me about the game that are not speedrunners, but in general, if somebody's willing to put that much work and hours into a game, I feel like usually they like playing it, at least to an extent. And that's when I say, and people say like, don't be as dramatic, but that's why I say sometimes that this game has changed my life. I've met so many people through it, like even people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis at this point. I've literally traveled the world thanks to this game, going to different events across America, to Sweden, to these different TwitchCon events, Amsterdam, San Diego. And at the end of the day, the reason I'm able to do all of this is because I really like this game and I'm passionate about it, and I like sharing my passion with people. And I guess that's kind of like almost like one big memory that I kind of like talked about in this video, but it's also a bunch of small memories that I made thanks to this game that make this so special to me, and why I will always keep this one dearly and close to my heart, or whatever. That was kind of like, I tried to be poetic and I kind of failed, but that's alright. That being said, let's see if we can end this episode with one more BTB, just like in the good old days. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Tears of the Kingdom in 3 days at this point. Of course, I will still be uploading, and on the last day, we will beat the game one more time, that's for sure. Wait, what? A sky island? No, it's actually just Naboris flying in the sky, because the mountain where Naboris is on hasn't loaded yet. Yeah, stay tuned. I will still be uploading in these next days, and we will beat the game and get the final location on the very last one. Of course, comments on this channel will still be disabled until the game releases, and I will change up my content on LimQ+. Anyway, last thing before you switch off, I have uploaded a new channel on my a new video on my main channel, just normal LimQ. If you want something to watch throughout the week, I kind of put together like a fully commentated, fully explained All Shrines run. Maybe that would be interesting to you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the final countdown week until Tears of the Kingdom. Peace.